All right, how's everybody doing today? Chat says, wow, two legends are going to review tracks today. Alex Mukula, I think that's how you pronounce it, is also live streaming. Interesting. I wouldn't consider myself a legend, but thank you. All right, hold on, My setup is a little bit different than it used to be now that I'm on the one monitor. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Let me know in chat if you can hear. Everything sounds good. We'll do a test here real quick. Let me do a piano. Sounds good? Okay, perfect. Let me just make sure that we have... So, why I've been absent and not make as many videos in the last few weeks is I was sick, and I didn't want to be on camera hacking my lungs out, so hence why the videos were a little short for 2 weeks. But we're getting back there. Now, let me see. Okay, now I can't hear anything. Hold on here. So I did a... Can you guys hear the piano? Not that I'm going to play any piano today. It's just, I just want to make sure you can hear it. Make sure I have everything set up correctly. Nope, can't hear it. Okay, one sec. This is what happens when you don't stream very often. Audio input capture. Interesting. Okay, one second. How's everybody doing? What's everybody working on? What's everybody been doing? Let me try this. I hate OBS, man. It's starting to really bother me. What the hell? Yeah, I know. That's always a problem. Well, I haven't streamed since the last track reviews, and somehow my system got screwed up. Now I'm not hearing anything. Can you hear anything? You're prepping my portfolio for a job. Oh, cool. I did, there should be a new video next week, actually. A new interview that I did with a new composer. Really excited about this one. We had a really great, really great conversation. We talked for almost 2 hours, and he will definitely be back on in the future. He's a seasoned guy, so he's got some experience under his belt. So I think everybody's going to learn a lot from him. He had really good points to make. Now I'm not hearing nothing. Oh man, this stuff's the technology, man. Don't do this stuff beforehand. All right, what's going on here? Close. It's always multi-output. That's what I've always ran it on. Yeah, Yoshi, it's gonna be really cool. So can you hear the piano now? Well, man, I don't know what's going on. Did you hear that? This one monitor thing is really not cool. Wow, you guys, it's not showing. What the heck, OBS? Let me redo the audio capture. See, OBS has done this to me before. Let me try this one. Interesting. This is what. Oh, why not grab the monitor at your back? Oh, it's hooked up to a different computer. What the heck, man? This is what OBS did before. Remember the last time, and then I got it all situated, and then it didn't work anymore. Every time freaking OBS like does an update, it screws everything up. I'm serious. Every freaking time. All right, let me see if we can hear this now. There it goes. See? Every freaking time. Now you're hearing double voices. Okay, hold on. You shouldn't be. Okay, you hear it now? Yeah, see, every time OBS updates, it does this. It screws. I have to go back in and redo everything. So anyway, okay, I think we're good now. So today, we only have, so far, I've only gotten 2 tracks. Let me check the box again. But yeah, only 2 people submitted. Oh, nope. I take that back. There's a bunch in the box now. All right, let me throw these in there. Good thing I checked. Good thing I checked. All right, throw those in there in the queue. 10-second delay. Okay. All right. Double check the box one more time. All right. So, let's do some housekeeping. I think I already said, but and Yoshi already noticed, but this is for everybody else. All right. So yeah, like apologize for like the last 2 weeks, no videos or anything like that. Just I was sick, but there will be a new interview coming up next week with a great composer, a friend of mine, becoming a friend of mine, digital friend. We're becoming a friend, and he's a seasoned guy. He's been around. He's got a lot of great advice, great tips, and stuff like that. So I think everybody's really going to get a lot out of it. I know I did, and I can't wait to get it out for everybody. So it should be out next week. I got to edit it and everything like that. So that's on the forefront. I have a couple of video ideas. I still got to do the Ask Todd video. It's in the pipeline. Like I said, I wanted to do it 2 weeks ago. I got sick, and I didn't want to be on camera hacking my lungs out and all that fun stuff. So hopefully I'll get that one done soon. I still got a cough, so. But anyway, as always, my little public service announcement. If you're not on the Discord channel, the Composing Made Simple Discord channel, the link I'll put it below this video, or if not, you can check out the video. Join us all over there. It's slowly growing, and if you need help with your compositions or have questions or anything like that, we're always there to help you. So enough of that. Let's get started. And hopefully I won't be doing this the whole day. Get a drink of water. Like I said, this is why I didn't do a video. I wanted to do a live stream composing, but I didn't want to hack. So our first track is called The Adventure Begins. Let me know in chat if levels are too loud, too low. Just throw it in chat. Wow, what a track to start off the day. Okay, so my first impressions, like, I didn't really hear anything with the music. I followed it all the way through, loved the melodies. Of course, everybody's weak point is mixing. I think it was around in here. Like, those horns are just like blasting. I mean, they're da, da, da. Maybe a little bit softer, maybe pull down the drums a little. Actually, it sounds pretty balanced. I don't know, just the horns are really loud. I just know that. Like, they're playing way up there. And then when it got to this section here with the drums, I felt like it lost some of its steam. Like, like you had great ideas, the great melodies here. So this must be your B section. And I felt like it just was a little weak. Maybe you can have a little bit counter melody, maybe echo the melody that you had in the first two sections in there somehow. And I don't think we need those tubular bells in there. I really don't. I think they distract from, the composition. Because you're switching it up here. You had them, I thought you had them in here. The chimes, okay. Or maybe just pull them down in the mix a little bit. I don't know, just to me, it just like you had this very energetic kind of thing, and like all this stuff at the beginning was cool. That stuff, it's like marching band kind of stuff. So it's very marchy, stuff like that. And then it just like like I said, it comes in this B section, and it's kind of like a different tune. Somebody in the chat said it's got that Kamen Rider and Boku no Hero Academia, I hope I said that right, vibe here. I'm not familiar with those, so I can't speak to that, but I like the vibe. I'm guessing this is probably for a video game. That's a good transition right there. Love that ending. That's a great ending. Like I said, it's a great track. It's got its structure. I just said I think the B section's a little weak, and it just kind of meanders, and like you have all these great ideas in this A section here, and that ending's great. It just felt like that was the weakest part of the whole tune. But overall, I mean, it doesn't make the track worse or anything like that. It's just I don't know. That's just my opinion, my first impressions when I was listening through it. So, good job there. That was great. All right. Let's move on to our second piece here. So, I did something interesting this week, and a lot of people probably, when they watch this later, are going to give me a lot of flack, but I tried something new. I'm actually running VE Pro on my old Mac Pro, and I'm trying to use Logic this week, Logic Pro. So I haven't used Logic on my newest machine that I bought like a year ago. And I was wanting to know how it would handle, And so I built a template, a basic one. And I think I had about 180 tracks on it. And it did really well. It's doing really well. So what I've done now is I'm going to try a hybrid, uh, running some samples locally on the main machine, and then I'm running Hollywood Orchestra on the slave machine with a few odds and ends. And I'm going to see how well that does. And then eventually it will be imported back into Cubase. I'll run it on Cubase once I get it all figured out. So I took a challenge of myself and said, "Hey, let's compose in a new DAW and mix things up a little bit," because I've been going through a pretty bad writer's block or just a creative funk in the last couple months or so, and I've just been busy with freelancing work. So I haven't been composing as much. So I was like, let's just try a new challenge and like spark some new creativity. So I did that. All right, enough of that. Let's go on to this next track here. Hold on, I gotta see how this is about the same length, 3 minutes. But all right, here we go. Oh, I should say this. The title of this is 1986, The Hitcher's End Credit. So I think this is a reproduction of Mark Isham's soundtrack for the credits cue. I'm guessing. I hope this just isn't lifted. But I thought I should mention that. So I think they reproduction this, or maybe this is a rethought or rethinking of that cue. I'm not familiar with that cue, but anyway, that's just what it is. I didn't have any notes. It's just what the title was, so I wasn't sure. Okay, so I'm not familiar with that track, but for an end credit scene, that would work perfectly. I love the synths. I love the textures. It sounded like that. That was the what is it? The hot to I can't think the name right now. The flute thing. It sounded like that's the one from Contact, I believe. I could be wrong. This thing. It's cool. I can't tell if there's any reverb on it or not. No, there is. There's a little bit. So now I have to go do my homework and I have to research this track and see how well it compares to the original. I'm guessing this is a recreation of it because it says the 1986 The Hitchers end credits. Original music by Mark Isham. So I don't know if this is a reinterpretation of that track or they just redid it and they just wanted to see how their mock-up skills are. I need to get a way for you guys to send notes or something. That's the only thing. Google Drive. I don't know if you can post comments in Google Drive. I know you can in Box. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this track because it's an end credits, and I'm guessing The Hitcher is probably a horror film, and if it's a horror film, that track goes perfect. It's eerie, you know, it's kind of unsettling, so it hits the vibe, it hits the emotion exactly what you need. You know, it might just need a little bit better mixing. The synth's a little hard to hear, but you know, it's supposed to be background. But I like the synths. They're a little muddy. It needs to be a little more brighter, I think. Maybe the mix needs to be a little brighter. But other than that, I think it works great because it's an end credit, so it doesn't really need to capture anybody. You know, I think it works perfectly fine. Somebody in the chat says, Alan says, "Happy Friday. I was looking for a reference track based on your template, and I don't have on CD all the ones I want to use. Read somewhere it's important to have original track, no MP3 or YouTube rips. Agree." Yeah. I guess I think I know what you're saying. So when you want to use reference tracks in your template that I do, you want to if you can get the MP3 of them, probably want to get the highest quality you can of it. MP3, I mean, you know, so I guess you gotta think about it. Most people nowadays, you know, we're buying MP3s anyway. You know, you're buying off iTunes, you're buying off Amazon. They're MP3, so I think that's okay. YouTube, if it's a high quality, at least 44.1, but you probably want to get a little bit higher quality, I think, to use. You know, don't get something that's like back like 10, 15 years ago that was ripped. That's like what 120, whatever it was, 128, or I can't remember. It's been so long since I've ripped anything. Now I just buy all my stuff off iTunes. It's just so simpler. It's simple for me. You know, I don't have to manage all this stack of CDs, and it's all there, and I can get it on all my devices. So yeah, I think you should be fine. You know, just make sure that the quality is good, because basically, you know, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bounce your tracks out of Cubase or whatever DAW you use, and it's gonna be an MP3. So I don't see a problem there. Good question. And happy Friday to you as well, Alan, and everybody else that's watching. Yeah, this track right here, it's very difficult to what format is iTunes? Yeah, I think it's ACC or AAC, I think. I had to convert them. Yeah, so if I took my tracks out of iTunes, I had to convert them in Audacity to MP3s and then do it that way. So yeah, you're correct. Yeah, FLAC. Yeah. I'm sad as it is, I'm not a big audiophile like you think I would be. I don't know, that's just me. I've never really been one. So, but yeah, so if you take them out of iTunes and you're gonna use Cubase or something, yeah, you'll have to use like Audacity or something to convert it into an MP3. Just an extra step. But good point. Yeah, I forgot about that. All right, so we got this next track's called Unfinished Song. So I'm guessing this isn't finished, and this is just an idea. They probably want their feedback on the idea. Is it good? Should I continue? I like tracks like this because I like to help people, you know, rediscover their tracks, and you know, maybe we can give them some pointers. What did anybody else in the chat think of that last track? You know, talk amongst yourselves, and let's just play this one because this one isn't too long. So here we go. Oh, it just stopped. No, no. You set it up. You set up the modulation right there too. I know this is unfinished, but yeah, I was with it all the way. And you set up the modulation. You're gonna modulate right there, and it's like no. And we just lost power. What? So yeah, no, perfect start so far. Hold on, mate. I love the instrument choice. I wasn't expecting that instrument, so which is good. Maybe you should repeat that again. You know, maybe repeat that line again, and then this could have been your so you have your 8-bar or whatever theme there. Repeat it, and then come and then do this as your thing. Just a suggestion, or you don't have to. Because I wasn't really with the melody yet. It takes 2 times. Todd, the whole thing sounds mono here. Anyone else hearing mono? It might be. That might be an OBS thing. I don't know. Well, let me check. Let me double check. Hopefully something didn't get changed in my audio. It has to be mono. Yeah. Because if I do stereo, okay, this was a problem that I had with OBS before. If I did stereo, you won't hear my voice or something like that. It messed stuff up, so that might be the problem. I'm sorry if it is. One day I will get a great setup. I apologize, but, you know, for just doing this stuff, you know, this works. Oops, hold on. But that section right there, like I can start to lose focus from it right here. Because there's too many instruments going on, and I wasn't really with the melody yet. So, because it takes 2 times for a melody to really sink into somebody. So those first 2 times that you do a melody, you know, you want to stay true to it. So we you know, we get it, we internalize it. Then that second time around, when you do the melody, that's when you can change it a little bit and add other instruments. It's just a little thing. But that's just like was my initial impression. I was with you right here. I was like, oh yeah, he's going somewhere. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, what? So yeah, definitely keep working on this track. Do your modulation right there. Maybe that first section, tighten it up a little bit. Do it twice. Maybe switch the melody to a different instrument, like woods. Woods would be really good right there the second time around. And then what you could do is you could echo that Japanese, whatever it's called, or the string thing that you're playing, a Chinese instrument, the ethnic instrument there. You could echo, you know, maybe the woodwind choice or whatever you do there. So yeah, great first start, I think. Definitely could use a little bit of improvement, but like I said, in context of what you gave us, so far it's a good start. And I love the way you were going to modulate that section there. I want to hear more. I want to hear more. Let me check the box one more time to make sure last minute submissions. Nope, we're good. Okay. We'll keep it up there. Okay. So this next one is called Broken Dreams. Okay. Here we go. All right. Very pretty. Liked it. Um, this is another hard one to really talk about. I think I liked where it progressed and it went into the horn. I think right in here. The harp's a little loud. Just a little. Okay, so one thing, and here's a little lesson. I actually went a couple weeks ago and saw John Williams live, and it was an epiphany for me because I really understood how an orchestra works. So we deal with samples. A horn, those strings would not be probably that loud. So maybe the strings need to come down a little bit and let that horn kind of come out a little bit. Because one thing I noticed when I was at the live orchestra, because it's been years since I went to a live orchestra, probably since college, so probably 10, 15 years when I went, and strings, they do not play that loud. They really don't. And that's the thing with sample libraries. It gives us a false sense of realism. We think all instruments are just playing it, here. They're not. And so, yeah. So more the case than not, strings are very low. And if you got 4 horns or 2 horns just like going at it, strings are not going to compete with it unless they're really, really digging in. And even then, horns are still going to blow them out of the way. Same with timpani and same with a glockenspiel. John Williams loves glockenspiel. That thing was just going left and right. And like, it was so freaking loud. I did not realize how loud a glockenspiel was. I mean, I heard the Glock out of pretty much every freaking instrument in the whole orchestra. So there's just a little tip for you. Alan says, do you ever listen back to your compositions on crappy speakers? They suggest doing this with pop songs after mixing. Wondering if that would apply. Yeah, definitely. So what a lot of mixers do, like I'm not a mixer and a lot of us composers aren't, and that's our low point. That's all of us. We all struggle with that. So yeah, like get your headphones and like earbuds, the iPod earbuds, use those. Get some crappy speakers. Don't get speakers that have added bass and stuff like that. Like if you're gonna have Beats headphones or like stuff like that, make sure they're flat. But for final mix, when you want to listen to your car, you want to kind of listen on iPod earbuds. That's what most people are listening to, and just test it on various stereo systems is the best suggestion I can say. At the end of the day, you're not a mixer. We have to be now. I mean, that's just what the job requires it. So you kind of have to brush up on it and get really good on it. So, but yeah, that's a little tip. That's something I try to do. But I don't really worry about mixing. I worry about the music first. And then, you can always hire somebody that actually does mixing if you have the budget and all that stuff. Pascal says, hi, lovely melody tune. Has the potential to step right up and become quite epic with that strong melody. Big French horn section playing. My 2 cents. Yeah, I totally agree. I love the melody. Like I said, I was with the whole thing. These pieces, like every week, the pieces get better and better and better. And it's like, it's great. I don't really have much to say, so then I have to start, mixing because there's always problems with mixing and stuff and realism with samples. That's just a given. But like I thought, hold on, there was something here at the beginning. You set up this pattern here with the piano. Dun, dun. I was expecting it again, and it kind of does, but it changed it a little bit. And here comes the strings. So I mean, and the one thing that I've noticed over the whole course of the track was, that pretty piano thing. It loses its luster after a while. So maybe start introducing like later in here, instead of the piano, like I know you did harp, I think, like maybe a celeste or stuff like that, a different instrument, just to mix up the colors a little bit. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, I know this is a piano string piece, but you'd be surprised just adding a little instrument in very softly, how much more color it can bring to your track. Like maybe a vibraphone, like that. Just put a little vibe in there. you'd be surprised what that can do to your track. Piano section reminds me of a part of the Peer Gynt suite. This is a great section right here. But also, piano's a little hot, little warm, little high. Same with the strings. Like, everything is competing. So it's just a mixing thing. But the composition is great. I'm with it. I love the dynamics. Very dynamic. Which a lot of people don't do today in their tracks. Everything's just... Would it be kind of cool when you come into this section here? This is just a suggestion. I like what's here, but I think it might be cool. Go to solo piano. Drop the strings. And go to a solo piano doing that melody again. Like you're doing right here. And then maybe bring the strings in at the end to give more of an impact. Now start bringing them in. Like you're doing. So yeah, maybe that little part right there at 140 after what is that, about one... Right here, drop those strings and just go solo piano. Or do a different instrument and then bring the piano in. I mean, these are just ideas. I mean, like I said, I like what you got here. But I'm thinking it might have a little more of a, more emotional effect. It's like you drop it out, kind of let people down, and then bam, come back into the, what you're doing right there. Might have more of an impact. I don't know. Cool. I like it. That was Broken Dreams. And awesome. The last track we have is called Grand Finale. So, I mean, let me check the box again just to make sure. Because sometimes pieces come in last minute. Nope. If anybody's watching, they have a piece. The track, the link should be below. Sorry, I'm a little off today, guys. I don't know why. And girls. Anybody have any other comments? Hold on, let me see, make sure I got everybody's chat here. Yeah, very lullaby-ish. Pan's Labyrinth comes to mind, especially at the start. I'm not familiar with Pan's Labyrinth, but yeah, no, to me it sounds like a film score, kind of Thomas Newman kind of thing. But it sounds like a pretty typical, emotional film score. So that track would totally work. Yeah, I think it's great. Like I said, I just had a few minor things. And it needs some better mixing, obviously. And a recent thing I just bought, actually, it might help out a lot of you guys with mastering and stuff, is Ozone. If you don't have Ozone 8, I would definitely look at getting it. Another one I'm looking at getting is FabFilter. Maybe I should do a video on Ozone 8. Like I said, I just got it, so I don't know much about it, but I just was testing it the other day, and I just put it on one of my tracks and just chose a preset, and I was like, wow. It totally made my track sound a lot better. And that was no mixing, no nothing. I mean, it was just I just put it on there, activated it, selected a preset that I thought would work, and it was literally I was like, wow. Okay, I'll do a video on it. Let me play with it a little bit more, get used to it, and maybe I'll just do a kind of an overview or suggestion. I wanted to do an overview of Cinepiano, Cinesample's new piano that they released a couple weeks ago. But like I said, I got sick, so that's why there hasn't been hardly any videos in the last 2 weeks. I was hacking up a storm, and I didn't want to get on camera, and I wanted to do a live composing stream, so maybe we can do one next week. But I did say, if you didn't catch at the beginning of the stream, there will be a new composer talk next week. I got to edit it with a great composer, becoming a real good friend of mine digitally, online. But he's a seasoned composer, and he's been around the block. He makes a living off it full time, and he had so much great great stuff, great tips, and great things for people just getting started or trying to find a way to make money out of this. Like me, I'm trying to, get into that world myself to make more of a living from music and, stuff like that. Right now, I'm currently freelance and, own that side, which I'm building. But yeah, so that will be coming out hopefully next week. And I'm really looking forward to you guys hearing it because, like, I'm really proud of it. And I thought we had a really great conversation. And, like, we had more to talk about, but it was going on 2 hours. So he will definitely be on again. So, yeah, we look forward to that. And I hope you guys are enjoying those composer talks. Like, I've done two. And I'm trying to get better people. And like I said, my goal is to actually get filmmakers and video game developers, and hopefully I can get some TV people, that can speak towards what they look for in composers, and stuff, or what they look out for, and what they want, and what they do, so you can get you guys ready for this stuff, so you know what you're getting into. Alan says, do you have experience with second gen complete control line of controllers? I do not. I have a cheap controller, what is this called? I forgot. It's the Impact, Nectar Impact. And then I have the Nectar 8, what is it, the 8 sliders in my closet. I can never get it to work right, so it's in the closet. And right now I'm using actually a palette gear to control my MIDI CC data, the CC1 and CC11. I'm going to do a video on this because I had trouble getting it to work with Cubase. It still doesn't work, and Cubase is not a legit, it's not supported by Palette Gear right now. It's more for video editing, but it's a really cool little thing. I will do a video soon. Like I said, I want to use it. I want to see how it works before I give an honest review or, give my opinion on it. I like to, make sure I know what I'm talking about. So I'm not, talking about what I'm not talking about just to put a video out. You know what I mean? So you guys can get something from it and learn and know. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on in the world. But no, I don't have any experience with second gen complete control line of controllers. I'm interested in their 88 keyboard MIDI controller. It looks nice. I like the lights, of course. We all like lights. It's just too expensive. I think the one I got, it's like $500 or below $5. The Nectar. It's the first gen of the Impact LX Plus, I think, or 88, and it works just fine. I'm not one of those stickler for controllers. I mean, of course, I would like to have a real piano feel, but you're gonna pay an arm and a leg. The 88 is the only one that isn't on second gen. Yeah, I know. I noticed that. I'm thinking because it probably didn't sell very well. You know what I mean? Because like $1,000 for a MIDI controller, you could go buy a synthesizer, or you could buy a electric piano for that and use as a MIDI controller. So I'm guessing that's probably why. It just didn't have as much demand as they probably thought. I'm guessing the 49 and the 61 are probably their most popular controllers that contact or Native Instruments, sells. So that's probably why. All right, let's listen to this last track here, and then we can go into questions and QA or whatever you guys want to do. Ooh, very quiet. Okay, now I get why it's called grand finale. One thing, horn players need to breathe, and that section, I don't know if there was a lot of spots for the horns to play. I mean, I understand if you have multiple horn players, but yeah, so they're holding that note. They're holding a lot of notes. There wasn't a lot of breathing room there. So that cuts back on the realism. Horn players need to breathe. So what you could do with that section is maybe do strings or do different instruments at the beginning, and then at that when you're going for the grandioso, then come in with the horns because they have a lot more power, a lot more, pizzazz like that. So maybe because I was hearing string, that could be a great string line because they can play that. They don't need a break because it's strings. They don't breathe. Horn players, they need to breathe. And you had that crescendo at the end, and that's like, okay, how are they going to play? Because they're going to be out of breath. You're going to, so that's just the first thing I heard. And then also like the horn line, there was like it sounded like it was a mess up or screw up with the note, like it hit doubled or something. Hold on. Yeah, right there. Oh, so maybe it's dun 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 dun. I'm guessing that's what it is. It just sounded really weird when I first heard it. It was like, what? Was that I thought it sounded like a note that was accidentally hit again. And I think the balance is off a little bit. I think the strings are just way too loud. Because you got something high strings, and then you got, and I don't know. It's really hard to distinguish what's going on. I like the vibe. I mean, I'm not ripping the track. I like the vibe. I love where it's going. I love it. It's just like little things that takes me out of listening. See, right there. Those strings are not going to be that loud for that horn, So bring the strings down. Or get rid of the strings and just like those high strings and bring the strings down lower in the octave so the horn can speak. And the horn line, I'm just going to say this, but like, don't take this offense or anything. It just sounds like the horn player falling asleep. Like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel, I don't know. That was the feeling I got with this horn. It's like, nah, nah. It sounds like it's dragging. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like the player is just not in it. And they need to breathe. So what you want to do is dun 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 dun. Really emphasize those first notes. I think that would really make it better. Drop it out a little bit instead of like having those crescendos at the end of it, like dun 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 dun. Like really emphasize it, like dun dun dun. You know what I mean? Say da 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 da. Maybe switch it up a little bit. Not do that note you did right there. Wait for it. You know what I'm saying? Da da da. Da 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 da. I guess you could do that. Da 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 da. Stop and then let it breathe. Maybe a beat or something, and come in. Let me listen to it again. Yeah, right there when you had that note. That like, don't do that. Right there. Let them breathe right there. Done. And then that right there, there's like an emphasis. I heard like a little drum beat or a little timpani hit. Right there, something hits right there. Then that's when you want to emphasize, right there. How can you upload a track? There should be a link below for a Google Drive. If not, I'll throw it in the chat. Phil. Yeah, see, you're just like holding those notes out, and like they need to breathe. I think it'd have more impact, like dun 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 dun. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. And then you got some string things going on. So what you could do is you can alternate, do the horn lines, and then maybe do the string thing you're doing, and then come back to horns. Because right now it's just all horns, and then you got this thing going on. I don't know what to focus on. I get that this is a grand finale kind of thing, but you kind of want to build the grand finale. You kind of want to start the thing simple and then progress it as you go. I think that's what would hear in my head. Maybe drop that horn and just do strings, because you're doing really cool string stuff. I like that right there, because I'm feeling it, man. Like ooh, it's got me. Now you're gonna start ramping up. So maybe that section here maybe doesn't really need horns. Maybe you could do something else lighter to contrast your grand, the bigness. That thing, you want some contrast in this piece, because right now it's just all strings and horns. So maybe do these lines as woodwinds or something, or I'm trying to think here, strings or something, and then so that would contrast this section here to make it feel more grandiose, because now you're because like woodwinds are soft and delicate. I think there's some choir in there too. I think. And then when you want to do that little tail you got right there, maybe bring down your expression or the mod, just bring it down like a fade. To a fade, because they're not just going to, real players aren't just going to stop abruptly like that. They're not just going to stop on a dime. They're going to, So just a little thing. Philip, did you find the link? If so, let me know, and then I'll check the drive folder. Yep, I think I see it there. Cool, I got it. It's next. All right. This is called second track. So does anybody else have any feedback for that last track before I start this next one? Yep, I got it, Philip. We're going to listen to it right here, right now. Right here, right now. Isn't that a Van Halen song? Yeah, that last piece is called Grand Finale. So, like, I'm just trying to think of ways to make that last section, like that's, okay, if that's the grand finale, if we're here, so you want to build it up to a peak, you know what I'm saying? Because we're kind of peaking there, and then, kind of, I don't know. That's just how I interpreted it. But, and then the horns, like, a horn player has to breathe. And, that's the first sign of when you do a sample mock-up or anything like that. it takes realism out, because like, okay, dude, they gotta breathe. Your string players, they can just sit there all day and yeah, they might get fatigued a little bit, their arms or something, and fingers might get a little fatigued. But a horn player, playing that, playing that kind of thing, they're gonna blow out their lips and they're gonna be done. So that's just a little thing. I mean, those are little things. But like I said, the track, I liked it. I liked where it's going. The structure, I just think it needs to be mixed up a little bit. It sounded like there's a lot going on, and so we might want to save that for the grand finale. Because when you watch a fireworks display, it starts off small, they kind of get you in, and then it kind of ramps up a little bit, and at the end, that's when it's chaos. But you have to earn it. You have to earn that chaos. You can't just go right into it if you haven't earned it. So anyway, I hope that helps. I'd like to hear what you do with it. Like all these tracks, I like to hear what people, when they do revisions, don't be shy to send it back. I want to hear it. I want to see what you do with it. So anyway, let's move on here to Philip's track. So it's his second track he's ever made. All right, man. So we might be able to help you out a lot, or you might blow us all away here. So let's see. Okay, so I'm guessing this is going to be a trailer track, right? I'm guessing. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, so when the brass kicked in there, I'm trying to get this in my head, so just give me a sec. It's just mixing. I mean, there's a lot of mixing things. Like the piano is not going to be that loud over horns that are doing that. I'll just let you know. Those horns are loud. That's loud. So the piano might be coming down a little bit. And then right there, probably need a better drum pattern. If you can find maybe a drum loop. To bring a little more excitement, since you got these horns coming in like that, and you got this dun, dun, these stabs going on, to bring a little more excitement, bringing in some drums. You want to be sparse with the drums, so just throw everything in the kitchen sink on it. Maybe some taikos, some high drums, low drums, just a little bit. Don't overdo it. Um, or find a synth loop or something to create a little, you know, because it just get like that dun dun dun. So maybe add some variety with those dunts. Maybe dun 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 dun. You know what I mean? Like add some excitement, because it's right now it's just like dun, and it's cool. Dun 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 dun. You know, like dun 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 dun. You know, something like that. You know, just to bring some more variety to it, because it's just like after a while, it's just like. And what is those, like guitar? What is that, like that noise, that those crunches? It sounds like a guitar cable being unplugged. That, what was that? I don't know what that is. It's just like a sound design thing. It's not really doing anything. Use it sparingly. So I think would make this a little bit cooler too. Keep those strings out and just do the, is that a harp? Do the harp. Maybe now bring in the strings, those high strings. A sound design hit, okay. Use it sparingly. That's cool, I like that synth. Synth and harp, okay. So if that's your melody right there, that da da da, is that your melody? Can't really hear it. So you want to bring down those instruments, the synths and that. So if you ever have in melody playing, it's okay to bring down like synths and harps and all that to a lower level. This is mixing stuff, so you know, bring it down a little bit so that melody can speak. If that's your melody, let me see. I guess it was just a thing. And right there, like you like, oh, it's just weird. Is this a different section? Because like the drums just like fell out. Harp's a little loud. So for right there, I mean, if you're gonna go for that, usually they do that like, you know, those like sound design, and then they come back. So the synth harp is supposed to be the melody. I'm not hearing a melody. These are just chords. They're just arpeggiating chords. Maybe that, okay, right there, is that the melody? So either that, so have the strings do your melody or an instrument doing the melody. Typically harps and that don't really do melodies. I mean, they do, but not like, you know what I mean? They're not carrying a melody in a tune, as far as I know. I could be wrong. But that thing you did, let me find it. Yeah. Yeah, you're playing arpeggios. That's all it's doing. So it's accompanying something. That's what a harp usually does. That instrument you had, that was like a little fluty thing, or that was cool. Do a melody with that. I'm trying to find it. Not that one. there's your melody. That instrument. Do a melody with that. You could do that synth thing. You could do that synth with a melody there, and then use that instrument, that flute thing, to do a cool melody over this section here. But yeah, maybe right here, you could do it here. But then you have strings coming in, I think. So this is kind of your melody here, the strings. So those high strings, those really, really high strings, make them move a little bit doing a melody. Because right now they're just holding stuff. They're just, and then you're following the chord, and then you're going back. So make a little bit of movement in there with those high strings. A melody. Right here. You see what I'm saying? That would bring so much more to this track. So... So like, you know, you're just moving to the wherever that chord or notes, whatever notes are in between what you're playing there. I would do that, you know, make some more movement. Because right now they're just playing, they're just hanging out. You know, they're just ding, ding. So it would make it a lot cooler, more, you know, fluid. Not fluid. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Apologize. Like that. Here's your melody with those high strings. I think it would make this. It would really pop this part here and make it really sound cool. Because you're just doing chords. So you do have a drum pattern there, I think. Yeah, you do. Maybe emphasize it just a tad, or bring down the instruments a little bit, because right now you just got all these instruments going really loud. But yeah, for your second track, I mean, it's pretty good for your second track, so... I think work on that stuff. Like I said, that harp part, I don't hear a melody. I mean, I know what you mean. Like you're playing a melody probably within the harp, but a harp normally doesn't play a melody that I know of. I mean, I could be totally off base there. But yeah, and then like work on that part there with the melody and those tracks, and then that part with those high strings. Make some movement with those high strings going to the next chord. You know what I mean? The da, 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 or whatever, you know? I'm just making something up on the spot. But that's what I mean. Like, do something like that, and it will make so much more impact on this part. Because right now, you're just like, okay, here's my chord to the next chord. You know, it's kind of boring a little bit. Brings, you know, add a little more excitement to that section or to those strings. Because string players... If you listen to string pieces, you know, that's what they're doing. They don't just hover on one chord and then, you know, play one note, play another note. But, you know, like I said, it's your composition. You could do however you want, but these are some pointers and some things that I hear when I hear the track, to make it sound, you know, give you some more excitement, you know. But no, good second try, man. Keep it up. We do these monthly. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, or if you are subscribed to the channel, great. If not, subscribe to the channel, because we do these monthly, and people send me their tracks all the time, and I try to give them workable feedback. You know, they can go and, you know, make their tracks better, you know. And I don't just sit here and rip oh, that track sucks. Oh, you suck. That's not what we do here. I try not to do that. So yeah, I think that's all the tracks. So if anybody's got any questions or just want to hang out and talk, about what's going on, I am doing that because I scheduled this till 2 o'clock, so I'm free a little bit. I don't know if we'll go till 2, but maybe here till 1:30. But I'll take some questions, and I think we got like 4 or 5 people watching. Normally have more, but cool, man. I'm glad to help. Like I said, it's a good first start, dude. Like you said, it's your second track, so yeah, of course you're not gonna. We're all learning, man. I'm still learning. I'm not where I want to be. But it's a good first, it's a good start, and just those little things I think will enhance it a lot. And then, so if you want to do these styles of tracks, go find tracks that you want to do and listen to them and study them, how they do things, and you'll be surprised. Most of the time, it's really simple. Most of the stuff's really simple. We just make it more complex, that's what I'm finding out. Yeah, second track. That's what he says. This is the second track, so I respect that and give him a lot of credit there to come up with something like that. I mean, my first or second track probably didn't even sound that good. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been so long. Heck, some of my tracks today don't even sound that great. Normally. But no, I appreciate everybody submitting their tracks again and let me review them. I always like doing this. This is very fun. Because I learn too. I learn by listening to your guys' tracks because I make the same mistakes you do. And so I hear things that you guys do and I go, okay, well, and when I'm composing, I'm like, oh, I'm doing that thing. So don't do that. Remember that advice you gave that person? So yeah, why don't you take your own advice? So yeah, I learned as well. But yeah, anything you guys want to talk about? Any scores or anything you guys are listening to or trying to learn? I definitely would like to hear. We could take some questions. I will hopefully be doing a composing live stream soon, probably next week. I know it's been a while. Like I said, I've been doing some crazy stuff. Did a new challenge. I went back to Logic for this week. I might go for a little bit longer, and I'm setting up a new template, a hybrid. I know I mentioned this way before that I was gonna, in the future do a hybrid setup where I was gonna do VE Pro on one machine, running some samples, and then run some on my main machine. So I'm doing that now. I've been building it, and I've been testing it in Logic because I just want to see how Logic runs on my Mac Pro. Because I got Cubase when I got my before I got my the newer Mac Pro, for me new, and I've just been in Cubase. And I'll say this, using Logic for a few days, I do like the interface of Logic because it's clean and simple. It's got that Apple design, which I like. I'm an Apple guy. I'm on a Mac, and so I like that. But there is some things that I do miss from Cubase, like the key commands in Cubase are so much easier and so more flexible and works for my workflow. So I do miss that. I don't really like Logic's key command, and I don't like Logic's workflow in a certain extent. Like, you have to click all these damn buttons to do stuff, and it's like, I don't want to do that. And in Cubase, I could just hit a few Q commands, or it's like right there, and I can get what I want. Logic's not like that, but so that's some of my first takeaways of using Logic again, because I've been away from Logic for probably a year and a half, 2 years. Like, I've been using Cubase for about 2 years now. I know this is probably not going to make me switch back to Logic. I will probably continue to use Cubase. I don't know. We'll see. But I would like to start doing some tutorials on Logic. I know a lot of the Cubase people probably will frown about that, but just to expand the audience and get more composers, in here and get them into the Discord channel. Here I go again, the Discord channel. Everybody's like, what the hell is this Discord channel? Stop talking about it, Todd. But it's a great place, it's for everybody to get there, ask questions, get help. A lot of people are in there. What are your PC specs? Because I will buy a PC soon where I can make music without so many technical limitations with 8 gigs, 2.5. Yeah, I'm not on a PC. I'm on a Mac. So I have my main machine is a 2013. Here, I'll read you the specs right now. So I have a Mac Pro late 2013. It's a 3.5 gigahertz, 6-core Intel Xeon, and I have 64 gigabytes of RAM in it. And then I have a couple of I have two SSD drives hooked up to a thing from. It's a slot where you can put there, and it goes through Thunderbolt Thunderbolt, and it's a dock. It's a docking station I got for SSDs. Two, I can put two in there. So that's where I run my most intensive libraries on, and then I have like 3 external USB drives hooked up to it. And then I got the thing about the Mac Pro, or the Darth helmet, or the trash can Mac Pro, is it's a freaking dongle machine. Like, you have to have all these freaking dongles to make it. So that's one drawback of it. And then the other machine I have that's running the VE Pro is an old 2010 MacBook or Mac Pro quad core, and it's limited to 32 gigabytes of RAM. So I figure splitting up a hybrid system, running like not so intensive libraries on the old Mac Pro, and then running the ones, on the main Mac Pro, because I have 64 gigabytes of RAM, should be fine. And so far, I haven't had any issues. I'm running Hollywood Orchestra on the slave machine on the old Mac Pro, and it's running pretty well. And I have SSDs in the old Mac Pro as well that are hosting the samples. So yeah, I'm not on PC, but eventually, someday, maybe. Like I said, when I use Cubase, so the reason I have to do the slave thing is because in Logic you can't disable tracks like you can in Cubase, and that was one of the main reasons why I went to Cubase, was because I couldn't run a nice template in Logic. I'd blow the computer up. So that's why I went to Cubase, because I disable all my tracks and I could run a 1,000-track template. So that's why I was just always working on one machine, and I was like, I don't really need a slave. You really don't. But but eventually one day I would like to build a nice PC, like 124 gigabytes of RAM or whatever it is, 128, and all SSDs, and then just host all the samples on that machine, because it does make it easier for your main machine. It doesn't get so bogged down. It's just running the DAW, and you do see a great performance, and you don't have to mess with stuff. But there's sometimes that it hiccups a little bit with VE Pro, like sounds will cut out or it will be choppy, so it's not the best, it's not the be all end all solution, but I have noticed a little bit of a difference. And it's nice to have all your tracks ready to go in your template and just like click on it and start playing. Like, in Cubase, yes, you have to hit, disable the track and it loads and then you're fine. So it's cutting off a few seconds, but so that's the reason why I'm using the VE Pro right now, because in Logic you can't disable tracks. You can freeze tracks, but it's not the same thing. When you disable tracks in Cubase, it takes it out of the memory of your computer. But I never have an issue because I have 64 gigabytes of RAM on my main machine, so I can run a pretty decent template. And normally when I'm composing, I'm only using like 40 to 50 tracks maybe at a given time on a full track. Obviously, I can use more, but I tend not to. So I hope that answers your question, Phil. What are you currently running on? Are you on a PC or a Mac? I'm a Mac guy, so I do have a PC right there. That's a PC, but I couldn't run VE Pro on there because it's only an i5 and it's got, I think, 8 gigabytes of RAM or 16, so it ain't gonna work. And the video card's not the best. That's a work machine. That's for my freelance work and stuff. Have you ever tried composing the traditional way without a DAW? No. Well, yes and no. I'm a guitar player, so you see my guitars right there. That's how I used to compose, because I'm a guitar guy. So I'd compose melodies, compose the chords, everything on the guitar. So I'm used to doing that. Composing on a piano is very foreign to me. So this is something. So in a way, I make composing for myself on a computer harder than it should be because I'm not a piano player. That's just how I think of it. I've thought about getting those MIDI controllers for the guitar. I don't know. I don't think it's going to do anything. I don't know. I mean, if there's any guitar players in chat that's using one, let me know if it's better. Because if that's the case, I will definitely get one and use my guitar to compose, because I'd be so much faster to do this stuff. Because guitar is just second nature for me. I don't think when I play, I just play it. When I'm on the piano, I have to think about it all the time. Like, what am I doing here? Am I doing this right? So no, I have never composed on pen and paper. Like I said, I am not trained. I can't write notation. I'm a guitar player and I play by my ear. So if it sounds good, it probably is good. I know basic music theory. I took a music theory class in college, Theory 1, and I got a D. But you got to understand, this is a guy that doesn't have any formal musical education, couldn't read music at the time. I kind of can now, but not very good. Rhythm is my problem. I can't read rhythm very well. I could tell you the notes on the staff kind of thing, but I can't read the rhythm stuff. So it's the stuff that I'm working on. I'm trying to really work on it slowly. But, like I said, I'm building a freelance business outside of this. It takes up a lot of my time, and I haven't been composing as much as I would like. And I'm trying. So you guys keep me honest. And that's why I do the live streams, the Composing with Coffee streams, because those keep me honest and those keep me composing. So there will be one hopefully soon. But next month, I think it's May 21st or something around there, I'm going to be starting a contract job that I actually have to go into an office 5 days a week. So my time's going to be a little bit I won't have as much time as I do right now, because right now I currently work at home doing all my projects and stuff, which is so nice. It's what I love. So yeah, so we're going to have to probably move track reviews to the weekend or something. So it won't be the last Friday. It'll probably be like the last weekend of the month or something. We'll figure it out. But I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it because I haven't worked in an office now since 2016, so 2 years. It's been over 2 years. Yeah. And I'm so used to working from home and, kind of doing my thing. It's going to be a real change for me. But it's only an 8-month contract, so it'll end in December, and then hopefully life will go back to the way it is. But I'm hoping I can work a few days a week from home. But okay, so Philip says, have you tried the old Cinematic Strings 2 library? Because I want to know if Cinematic Studio Strings is better for my first strings library or Cinematic. I would go with Cinematic Studio Strings, the newer one. It's a really great library. I have that one. I've never used Cinematic Strings 2. I think Junkie XL uses Cinematic Strings 2, and they sound pretty well. Yeah, they sound good. They have a different sound, though. Cinematic Studio Strings sound way different than Cinematic Strings 2. So it's a different approach. It's made by the same people, but there's a different approach about it. If you want really lush sounding with a lot of vibrato and, like that kind of that Hollywood thing, I would go with Cinematic Studio Strings. It captures it very well. If you really like those high lines and stuff that you had in your piece, I think Cinematic Studio Strings is probably what you're looking for. But I've never used Cinematic Strings 2. That's a very old library from what I know, and I never bought it. But I do have Cinematic Studio Strings. I have Cinematic Studio Strings, and then I have Cinematic Solo Strings, which I don't use very much. That's another thing. Since you're new in the game, man, do not go chasing libraries, okay? One word of advice. That's like my philosophy here. Don't chase libraries. If you find the libraries you have, work with them and master them, and if they do something that you need to do and they don't do it and there's another library that does, that's the time to buy a new library. Don't just go buy a new library thinking, oh man, it's going to make me sound so much better. I'm going to be the next, I'm going to be Junkie XL. No, because you're going to be the same situation as you're in if you don't know your library. You got to learn the library, So that's my little thing. So don't chase libraries, man. Work on the music. Learn the music, master the music, because that's what most people care about. They'll get over the sound. Most of the time, people will get over the sound if they love the ideas and, they're emotionally connecting to your ideas. They'll look past the sound. And how I know this is if you listen to any listen to Star Wars. Listen to the New Hope soundtrack. Listen to that sound of it. It's horrible compared to like the rest of the Star Wars trilogy, sound of the orchestra. But go back and listen to that first one, and it doesn't sound the greatest, but nobody cares because they love the music. Yeah, Spitfire is easy to understand. Yeah, Spitfire. Yeah, stay away from Spitfire. They make great okay, I'm gonna say this now. They do make great libraries. I own Spitfire libraries. I have the Symphony series. I have their woods and brass and strings, and I have a few other ones. But you can fall very quickly into spending a lot of money that you don't need to. You know what I mean? Because there's guys out there, composers that I know. Curtis, I interviewed for Composer Talk, the first one. He uses predominantly Hollywood Orchestra to this day, East-West Hollywood Orchestra, and his stuff sounds great. Yeah, it's not like AAA whatever, but it does what it needs to do. And like I said, you hear his music, you're listening to the music, so you kind of look past the sound. You know what I mean? Don't get hung up on sound. I think that's what a lot of us do. We get hung up on sound. But you got to also understand in this game that if you want to be if you want to be professional, you want to do those AAA stuff. Yeah, your stuff's got to sound amazing. Your production skills probably got to be on par with your compositional skills, but I would say your production skills got to be more than your compositional skills, because if you listen to most of that stuff out there, they're not doing anything. We're not talking like Williams style stuff here, so like trailery stuff. It sounds so cool. It's production stuff. So yeah, I would work on your production chops if you want to go that route. Trailer music, that's just not me. That's not the game I want to be in. Because there's so many people out there that are way better than me at that, and I just don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on the music. Any other questions? Man, we have more people watching now than we did when we were actually reviewing music. And if you have a track, if somebody's new watching and you have a track, throw it up on the Google Drive. There should be a link below. Yeah, there's no new ones in there, so I'm looking at it right now. If you want something reviewed, send it in the link. It should be there. Please submit your track here. It should be at the link at the video, and we'll listen to it. But yeah, good tracks today, man. Like I said, every time I do this, they get better and better and better. It's like making me run for oh my God, I need to step up my game here. It's so funny, Yoshi. You say Spitfire. I don't know, man. Like, I like Spitfire, I really do. But lately, or just the last year, I don't know. I swear to God, it's like there was a time, like every day, I was getting a new email about a new library, a new this, a new that, and it's like I tuned out after a while because it was just Yeah, sure, Philip. You can send your first track. We'll take a listen. It just like, do I even ask yourself, do I even need this library? Because like it's cool to get a new like you get gas syndrome, gear what is it, gear acquisition syndrome, where you just have to get all this new stuff. Yeah, those emails are very tempting. They are, but for a lot of new guys starting out, man, they get caught up in that crap. And, you start blowing thousands and thousands of dollars on libraries. And then, months later, you're sitting there going, I have all these cool libraries. They sound amazing, but why can't I write anything? Why does my music still sound bad? And that's what I want to steer everybody away from. That's part of my channel, is to give everybody like, look, don't go chasing, man. Learn the libraries you got and mash them and make those sound good. Someone told me once that if you really want to learn your production skills and learn how to get really good making samples sound kind of realistic, take Contact Factory library instruments, build an orchestra template, and start there. If you can make those sound good, you can make any other library sound good. That was some advice that I was given. I never really did it because I was like, okay, I try. I mean, I did. I tried. I sat down for a little while and I was like, yeah, these samples just suck. But I get their point. It's like, if you can make those things sound great, you will make any other library sound well. And like I said, I don't put my emphasis on that as much right now. Right now, my emphasis is learning how to be a great composer and write great music and to touch people and to get people invested in the music. So that's kind of my philosophy on that. Yeah, they release String Chamber Professionals, which I get, but it's like, I don't know. I don't want to get on a soapbox here. Because I love Spitfire, I really do. That was the first library I ever bought, was Albion 1, the original Albion 1. When I got into this thing, I bought Albion 1 because everybody told me, like, hey, yeah, just get Albion 1. It has everything that you need to get started. And it's a great library. I don't really use it much anymore. I mean, there's a couple things I use out of Albion 2. I really love their these flatando strings. They sound really good. And there's like a sub hit in Albion 2 that's really good. And then I think Albion 1, I used to use the cymbals, sustained cymbals, because they're really good and easy to program. So that was my first adventure into Spitfire. I kind of stayed away from Spitfire because they're so expensive. And I went with Cinesamples because their libraries are very reasonable and they sound great. And they get that classic Hollywood sound. Okay, I see your track in there, Philip. Let's pull it up. I closed Cubase. Oh no, I have Cubase open. Oh, perfect. I thought I closed it. So, I started with Cinesamples, and I like Cinesamples still to this day. They're still in my template. I use them. And then I like East West as well. I know East West gets a bad rap, but their stuff's good. They've gotten better. Plays a lot better than it used to be. All right. So here's Philip's first track. Let's take a listen. Actually, I want to say one thing. Hopefully we see improvements from your first track to your second track. So now we know what your second track sounds like. Yeah, I can definitely hear you gotten better since that track. And I can tell that you weren't using any MIDI expression or modulation. So that's a thing. Really, to sculpt your sound on strings, they just sound like you've got to, when you listen to real string players, think of it like like a wave. So modulation wheel, if you have one of those. If not, then you have to go into your MIDI editor, whatever DAW you use, and write in the data, expression and modulation. So expressions is usually 11, and then modulation's CC1. So CC1 and CC11 are very important, and that's what sculpts the sound of your sample libraries. Very crucial, and a lot of people don't do that stuff. They don't know to do that. And so that's how you can sculpt the sound and make it play it like it's like a player is really playing it and is breathing. And like I noticed that in the strings here. Because the string players, they're gonna really emphasize that first note, but they might taper off a little bit. So you come in with your modulation data a little bit, and it will come down. Same with brass playing. Brass players play their first note. They really hit that note kind of, and then they don't hit as much as that. So you want to emphasize that first note in your expression and your modulation. And it's an art form as well. Sculpting CC data, it's a nightmare. I mean, so if you can learn how to play, your modulation and your if you can get a controller with CC1 and CC11 and use those while you play, so it feels like you're actually playing the instrument. If you can learn how to do that, that's a very great skill to do. I'm still learning. It's very difficult. But once you get it, it's just like anything else. If you do it so much, it'll just become second nature. But yeah, ride the mod wheel. If you hear people talk about ride the mod wheel, that's what they mean. But yeah, I totally could hear an improvement. And obviously, what I'm sensing from your tracks, or right now, what I sense from this track is you have a lot of ideas. You just don't know how to make them work. You're like, I got all these cool ideas, and I'm just gonna throw them all in there. So you kind of want to think of structure as well. You have your A section, so check up structures if you can. It's AABA or ABA. Those are forms. You have your first statement of the theme, and then your second statement of that theme, and then you go into a B section, and then you come back to the A section. That's what typical is. And then there's what everybody knows if you listen to pop or rock, whatever is verse chorus, verse chorus, verse chorus, bridge, chorus, or stuff like that. So that's what I mean by ABA. It's just a different way of saying it. But yeah, I totally can tell you improved from that last track. Also, there was there they are. It's a really loud the vibes compared to that with those drums. And those strings are really freaking loud. If you're hitting a drum that loud, the strings I don't think would overpower that drum. Same with the vibraphone. You're not going to hear the vibraphone as loud as that. So that was going back to my conversation earlier. Was samples give us a false sense of realism. You think all instruments play at that level, and they don't. And like my piece of advice is go to a live orchestra if you can, and listen. You will have so many epiphanies. Like I said, I don't want to repeat myself, but I saw John Williams a couple weeks ago, live concert. I had so many epiphanies, just watching the orchestra, how they do stuff, how they sound, how they play together. It's crazy, But good piece, man. I mean, I could tell it's your first piece, and there's a lot of ideas going on, and it's kind of jumbled, and it's not really clear. You know what I mean? It's not really. It's like a sentence, like, okay, hey, I'm like talking about 5 different things at once. Oh, well, thanks, Philip. That's why I do them. I'm glad you find this helpful. Like I said, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. I have videos, things to help you. I have a bunch of videos on there. I'm sure you'll find something. And like I said, we do these live streams monthly. So at the end of the month, usually. And people send tracks, and we help them out. And then usually the comment section, people will offer suggestions just as well. And I do live composing streams as well. And I do interviews with working composers. They might not be famous, but they're working and making a making a full-time living. That's the goal with it. And so you can hear their advice. And like I said, I'm learning just as much as everybody else. And I learn new things from all these guys that I talk to. And there should be a new one up next week. I actually got to edit it this weekend. A really great composer, and he's been around the block a little bit. He got some credits under his belt, and he makes a full-time living. He does a little bit of library music. He does film. He does video games. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting this out for everybody. We had a great conversation. We talked about so many things and so much stuff, and we ran out of time, and we're definitely gonna do it again. So we'll have probably a part 2 down the road a little bit. But if anybody has, like I always say this every stream, if anybody has a composer or somebody they would like me to, hey, Short 8-Bit, how are you doing? If anybody has a composer they'd like me to interview, or you want to know more about a composer and what they do and how they make money or what, just let me know. You can always send me, just go to my website, toddcarers.com. There's a thing up there that top says Ask Todd. You can submit it that way. And that's the best way probably, or put it on one of these Composer Talk video. Just put it in the bottom, or email me, or on Twitter, whatever. Yeah, we've been streaming for a while. We reviewed, how many tracks we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've reviewed 6 tracks already. If you have a track that wants to be reviewed, I could do it real quick. But yeah, we're just kind of hanging out, talking, and trying to offer up some advice to some composers. And if you have a question or anything, feel free to ask it. I said I wasn't going to go to 2 o'clock, but it looks like we're close to 2 o'clock. Yeah, I have to end the stream at about 2, so we got about 12 minutes. I got to get back to the good old freelancing work. Cool, I have nothing, unfortunately. Too busy with work last month to do any. Hey, I feel you, Short. I feel you, man. That's where I've been. Most people on my subscribers or regulars know that, I lost my job in October of last year. So it kind of forced me to become a freelancer. And I know that, like, I'm in project mode right now. I got a bunch of projects and just haven't had time to sit down and compose any music. I started a track the other day, and worked on it a little bit last night. I just want to finish something and put a new track out. It's been a while since I put out new music. And then, doing the YouTube thing and doing videos, and I got some other projects on the side that we're working on building that hopefully people will hear about soon. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on right now. And eventually I'm going to shoot the video for my Patreon campaign, which, like I've said earlier that, once I shoot the video, that will be it. And, I'll have a link below in every video. Other than that, you're not going to hear me really promote it very much, because it's just kind of one of those things. I don't want people's money, but I want people to support the channel, and, and so we could do things and do more things. What I would like to do is take Composer Talk and actually meet with some of the composers, one-on-one. That'd be so cool. I think that would be even cooler, but, I can't really do that right now. But I have plans for that and other stuff. But, I got a couple ideas, and, the video is like, there's 4 people watching. I don't know if you guys are regular. I know Yoshi's a regular. I think he's still here. Philip, you're new. Short Bit, I think you're new too. But, I'm curious to see what type of videos people want to see. Alan, I don't know if you're still there. And Pascal. I kind of like hearing what people want me to cover. And like I said, I've been using Logic for like the last week. I used to use Logic before I used Cubase, and I'm thinking about trying to do do some tutorials on Logic too, just to Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. That's why I thought your names looked familiar. Yeah, you're in the Discord channel. Cool, cool. Yep, right there. Sure, I see it. I know who you are now. Sorry, dude. Uh, that's what I'm saying. I think what we need to do in the Discord channel is like actually put our real names in there. I think I might start. I might ask everybody to do that. So I know everybody on a personal level. That's kind of how I want it. But there we go again, talking about the Discord channel. I tell you, it's so great, man. I loved it. It's getting better, and we're getting some cool people in there. And like the other day, I woke up and I went into there, and there was like people talking and helping each other about problems they had. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I wanted. It's not all about me. So it's been cool. But yeah, like I said, I want to try to cover some other DAWs, and so we can include those people too in the community. Um, so that's why I'm trying to get back into Logic a little bit to learn a few things, and I'm thinking about doing a how to build a template like I did with Cubase for Logic. I think that would be kind of cool. I haven't really seen anything like that on YouTube, so I'm thinking about doing that. But like I said, I gotta work with Logic again. That's why I've been using it. So if you've seen in the Discord me saying it's playing Logic Pro 10, that's why I'm learning it, so I could talk about it. Um, hey Philip, you joined the Discord. Welcome, man. Trust me, you won't regret it. There's some great people in there. If I'm not there, there's hopefully somebody that will answer any questions you have, and as you can see. So thanks for joining, man. Anybody else have any questions, or anybody get any new libraries or anything that they want to talk about? Or the only new library I got was Cinepiano. That was it, and I'm gonna do a video on it. I wanted to do a video like 2 weeks ago. Like I said, I got sick and it just didn't happen. It's really cool. It's a really cool piano. It's actually became my main piano sketch track piano now. Is the Cinepiano. Cinepiano, sorry. I really like it. Love the sound. It's very basic. It's perfect for a sketch piano. But you could use it in a track as well. I haven't done that yet though. Written a track specifically for that piano. But as everybody knows, there's so many freaking pianos to choose from. I just kind of find one, and if I like it, I stick with it. I like East West pianos too. I bought the East West piano collection like probably 8-9 years ago. I still have the box in my closet. This is back when East West was still bought in a box, not digitally. So that tells you how long ago it was. So I have that in my closet, and I love those pianos. Woodchester piano felt about $60. Yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about that, Phil. I've seen that posted a few times, that Woodchester one. I'm not familiar with it. I use Spitfire's felt piano, the Labs version, which you can't get no more. And then I have Olafur Arnold's felt grand piano, which is really nice too. It's very ambient, but I really like that Labs one. I'll have to check out that Woodchester piano. After a while, you just it goes back to that, like, do I really need it? I have this one and I know how to use it and it works well. You kind of get stuck in your ways, but it goes back to my chasing sample libraries. After a while, you get like 50 freaking pianos. It's like, okay, they just sit there and collect dust. I don't really need it. Do you know any good library with cinematic guitars? Yeah, there's hold on. Let me pull up Contact real quick. There's some ambient stuff. I mean, I play guitar, so if you need some guitars, let me know. Test, 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 test. Can you hear me now? Can you hear the mic now? Okay, that's weird. I have no idea what just happened. Dude, I hate OBS. I really do. Okay. So now it's going to a different output in OBS than it normally does. Okay. All right. Well, glad you can hear me. So anyway, what I was saying was, yeah, cinema guitar. Yep, we're cut off. They cut us off. Scoring guitars by Heaviosity is really great. I use that. Um, I think it's a pretty decent price library. That's when I know cinematic guitar. Yeah, I've heard of those. And then there's what are you looking for exactly? Philip. Sorry, I'll say Philip because there's another Phil here. Um, Short says I was suckered into getting easy keys, Grand Alliance. I just use it for composing. It sounds nice to me, dude. I have so many libraries that I've been suckered into. if I if I pull up my contact, I'll read them off real quick. That's why I said I fell victim just like you. All right, so here's some libraries I don't use, but yeah, Philip, tell me what are you looking for cinematic guitars exactly? Um, to play riffs or melodies with cool heavy sounding guitars. Okay, so there's I think a thing called shreddage that might be cool. See, the thing is, I don't know those because if I want to do that, I'll do it myself. Because I have my own guitars right there. So I don't. I'm not really. Yeah, I would look at Heaviosity's scoring guitars. There's not any like rock stuff in there, but what you could do also, find a clean guitar sample library. They used to have one for Spitfire. Their labs was called the Peel guitar, Peel. And what you do is you could run that through some effects, distortion. There you go. You got your real guitar. So maybe look at something like that. Maybe if you have a library with a clean guitar, and just put some freaking distortion plugins on it. There you go. You got your heavy guitar. A lot of guys do that. Um, make your own little library. Um, or use like sample modeling amps and stuff like that with your clean guitar. And I'm sure there's freaking free libraries out there that are somebody sampled of a guitar. Just go and check, man. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. I just don't know any because, like I said, if I want guitar sounds, I got my own guitars and I'll record them live. So I'm sorry I can't help with that. But I would definitely look at scoring guitars for cinematic stuff, like background kind of ambient kind of thing. Some pretty cool stuff in there. Yeah, so some libraries that I bought that I don't even freaking use. Let's see. I'm scrolling here. Let's see. I got I got Sono Kinetics Ostinato Brass, which is pretty cool. I got it for free during their Christmas thing, so I can't complain about that. But I've never really used it. I got Cinematic Studio Solo Strings, and I don't really use it. I tried using it, and it just wasn't what I might use it someday, but yeah, that's another library I bought that I probably didn't need to buy. And then the big ones were the Native Instruments symphonic series, like the brass ensemble and the brass solo and the string ensemble. Dude, I wasted my money on those. I hate those. I don't like them. For me, for if you're doing trailery or kind of like big epic music, like the strings are perfect for it. And same with the brass, but they sound, to me, the brass just sounded too freaking synthy. It just sounded fake, so I didn't like them. And then I have sample modeling, horn and tuba, the trumpet and trombone. They're great libraries, but they're very hard to program. You got to know your stuff because they're like VSL instruments, so they have no room, and you have to add the room yourself, and you have to build all that stuff. I'm like, dude, that's just too much work. Like, it's way too much work. But I've heard people that use sample modeling, brass, do some amazing stuff. So that's why I bought them. Maybe one day we'll get there. And then I've got, I think that's about it. The rest are just stuff that came with contact. I think I have a few maybe that I bought that aren't within contact. Let me see here. Like Spitfire, I like Spitfire percussion. I think their percussion's really good. Hold on. Oh, I bought some stuff from what's it called? Music sampling, which I love. I like their adventure brass and soaring strings. Yeah, sample mounting's great if you use a breath controller. Exactly. It's just a lot of finessing, and it's just not for me. You spend more time doing that than actually composing music. But I bought music samplings of Venture Brass and soaring strings, which I tried using a Venture Brass. I like the way a Venture Brass is set up. It's very playable, which I like. But I just couldn't get it to sound good with my stuff, and it couldn't mix very well with the libraries I was using. I probably have to spend more time with it, but that's something I probably really didn't need. Soaring strings is cool if you want those high string lines. I don't know, it's cool. Just not like I'm saying. You're gonna buy libraries that just don't work for you, and that's gonna happen. Let's see. But that's about it. I mean, a lot of the stuff, like I said, I don't really own too many sample libraries. I really don't. I try not to get hung up on that and go down that path. I mean, I'm a guitar guy, so like that happened to me very early on. Like you need all these guitars and I need all these pedals and all this stuff. So that kind of did it for me. It's like, no, you really don't. Or like amps, people go crazy with amps. Oh, I need this amp. I need that amp to do that. No, not really. Yeah, I think that's all the. Oh, no. Sound Iron. Okay. So I bought Mars Choir and Venus Choir. Never used them. I tried using them and they just didn't work. I mean, I've heard good things, people using them, but they're pretty dated at this point. I think the Sound Iron choirs. I didn't like them. They were just, I don't know, just wasn't my thing, I guess. But I heard a lot of people talk good about them and a lot of people use those. And plus, I'm not a very big choir. I don't really write for choir very much, so it's not really my thing. Yeah, that's about all the sample libraries I have that I regret buying. And of course, I regret buying some of the Spitfire stuff too, but I know that they're great libraries and I will probably use them sometime. But, just when you add up all the money that you've spent for Spitfire, probably paid for their front sign. Oh, nice. Just bought a 1960 Vox AC30. No, I have an AC30 over here. It's not a 1960s, the newer, version. So, yeah, I have a Vox AC30. I love it, man. AC30, you could do so much with it. They're so flexible. Do you like sound design? I like it. I think it's cool. But I'm not that composer. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit older. I mean, I like Hans Zimmer. But I come from. Yeah, I use presets and I tweak a little bit, but I don't create my own sounds. No. I do on guitar. I can on guitar because I have pedals. As you can see, there's my pedal board right there. I just really haven't gone down that road because that's not the music I really want to create. You know what I mean? I like Alan Silvestri, Jerry Goldsmith, John Williams. The classic Hollywood sound, which we don't really do now. I love Hans Zimmer. I mean, I love some of his scores. I like Dark Knight, I thought was amazing. Last Samurai. Is it The Last Samurai? Yeah, Last Samurai. What else? I thought Man of Steel was okay. But yeah, like if you like that sound designy stuff, that's cool. But like I said, I just grew up in a different time, which I'm so used to hearing orchestral scores. I'm really been getting into Jerry Goldsmith. If anybody knows, if you haven't listened to Jerry Goldsmith, you need to go do it now because he pretty much was pretty much Alan Silvestri, John Williams, and Jerry Goldsmith pretty much scored my childhood. Those three guys, those are the three guys that pretty much scored, and then throw in there James Horner a little bit. But those pretty much scored every movie that I liked growing up was those guys. Um, but like Blade Runner, I love that stuff. I like synthy stuff, and I like it. I just don't want to do that. I guess I want to write melody-driven music. I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I would use presets and tweak them if I need to. But no, I'm not a guy that just goes under the hood and creates a patch from scratch, and no, because I'm not a synth guy. I've never been a synth guy. I'm a guitar guy. So I guess I might be cool. I might do well with synths because, guitar pedals you have to finesse and, do all this crazy stuff. But I don't know, just never really appealed to me. Like I said, I like those scores that everybody likes, and the very epic and synthy stuff. I think it's cool. But when push comes to shove, it's like, yeah, but are they going to be listening to that 40 years from now, or it's just going to be like a fart, just here and gone? Yeah, Michael Jackson. Love Michael Jackson. Yes, I was still am a huge Michael Jackson fan. But when I was a kid, you got to remember, me growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, Michael Jackson was like, when he came out with, I started getting into Michael Jackson around when he put out the Dangerous album. So that's how long I've been listening to Michael Jackson. So, yeah, I was like 8 years old. Probably I was out like 19. When was that? I have Dangerous right here. 91. So I was 9, going to be 10 that year because my birthday's in December. So, yeah, so I was like 8, 9 years old listening to Michael Jackson. But yeah, I love Michael Jackson. He was probably the first, like when it comes to music, like the first thing that I got obsessed about was him. I had all, I'm gonna sound dated here, but I had all his tapes. I had all his albums on tapes. Not records. So 'cause I come from the tape generation. You gotta remember the 80s, 90s was tapes, cassette tapes. Records were already, kind of phased out, and then CDs became, that was like more in my teenage years with CDs. I'm 36 if anybody wants to know. I'll be 37 in December. I'm an old fart. But yeah, so yeah, I love Michael Jackson, Prince, all that stuff. I'm just looking through my my music here and seeing what I got. I got a wide variety of music. Yeah, Michael Jackson, man. I think like everybody likes Michael Jackson or Prince, and those are kind of like stuff. Well, it's 2:00, and I said I wasn't gonna go past 2:00. I think we'll cut the stream. We're not really reviewing any tracks. Oh, you're 16. Cool. Well, yeah, man. If you're 16, you're writing some music like that, dude. I'd love to hear what you're doing in 10 years. Keep it up, man, Philip. Remember what I said about the stuff, and when we do this next month, I want to hear your track. Hopefully, you subscribe to the channel, man. And I know you joined the Discord channel, so that's cool. We'll be doing this next month, and I want to hear your tracks again. Okay. But anyway, everybody else, thanks for attending again. Like I said, we'll do this next month. It'll probably be a different day because my schedule is going to change a little bit here for the next 8 months. So I'll have to probably squeeze time in here. Just keep keep tuned into the channel, and I'll put out a video hopefully a week before we do a live stream just to let everybody know so they can get their tracks in. But anyway, I appreciate everybody attending. I appreciate everybody's support on the channel. If you're subscribed, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. But as always, I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.